TIFU by drinking too much and going to the hospital. I am mostly posting this BC I want someone to tell me it's not that embarrassing loudly crying, so it's the Friday night of Halloween and I decide to go out with one of my friends. Before I left I had 3 shots. We went to a frat and I had a total of 6 beers and then one of those 99 proof shooters. I was really drunk and I remember walking home with my friend and then nothing after that. According to my other friends I was like fine for 2 hours after I got home, kinda silly goofy drunk. Then I started barfing and it was kinda normal drunk person barfing, but then I started to get really pale and my hands turned purple. I was really unresponsive and I was having a really hard time breathing. All I remember is my roommate kept trying to get me to drink water through a straw and it was so hard to swallow I couldn't use my muscles. I would put my head down on my arm and they would say my name and I wouldn't respond. They decided to call 911 BC. They were worried I was gonna die. I was really out of it. I couldn't talk or move right. I remember when I started to come to in the hospital I was so confused and I had very little control over my muscles and I wanted to say something or ask questions, but I was having trouble speaking. It was really weird. Eventually we left the hospital at 4:30 a.m. I feel so bad that my friends had to deal with me. TLDR was stupid and didn't pay attention to how much I drank and barfed and went to the hospital. You made a mistake. Your friends made sure you didn't pay with your life. It's embarrassing, but it pales in comparison to the grief they potentially prevented. Your friends may well have saved your life. Some of those symptoms sound like they may have been from someone more serious than alcohol poisoning, and you should go back to the clinic sober this time and have them check you out. Purple hands and not being able to breathe are not from too much booze. Sounds like you have good, caring friends. Drink more water and less alcohol next time. Everyone's had their too drunk night. Learn from it. Going from silly drunk to unresponsive drunk so fast is a huge red flag. You weren't spiked, were you op? Is this unusual for you? I was spiked once. And I was so out of it I didn't know where I was. Passed out in the toilet. And pushed a bouncer who was trying to help me because I didn't know what was happening. I apologized to her after because I was so upset that I had done that. She was very firm but empathetic. Luckily my friends were there and explained I had been speaking to someone at the bar I didn't know. Then went into the toilet. That's where they found me. Even if you weren't, and you just drank too much, please keep your wits about you. Stay safe. That goes regardless of gender. Thank your friends for taking care of you. Then thank them again by not letting yourself get to that point again. That's scary. We all do stupid things. Especially in college and when frat parties are involved. Forgive yourself, but seriously, please don't drink so much. Bonus points to your friends and doing the right thing by calling 911. You'd, or wouldn't, be surprised at the amount of people who simply do not do this. As for the drinking, I don't have to tell you now to be more mindful of your alcohol consumption. I don't know what you ate or did beforehand, but for future reference, never drink on an empty stomach. Be mindful of the activities you did beforehand. Do you work out? Drink something with electrolytes like Gatorade or those new Pedialyte type drinks at 711. From personal experience, eat something with lots of bread, potatoes, or greasy. It used to help me before a night of drinking. Lastly, water. Drink lots of water in between shots or drinks. Ex-drinker here, coming up on 2.5 years alcohol-free. I do not and will not preach sobriety to anyone because of my own personal decision. If you want to still drink, then still drink, but I will try and help mitigate alcohol poisoning or rough nights. Stay safe. People die from alcohol intoxication all the time. You have good friends. Sometimes people with heart problems have issues like the ones you described while drinking. Because alcohol is a depressant, it's way harder for your heart and organs to push through it and keep working like they normally would. If you have trouble standing, lifting your arms, using your muscles while drinking, please go see a doctor for a cardiologist referral. Yeah, friend. Sounds a lot like you got drugged at a frat party and your friends saved your life. They have scrunchies you can put over the lid of your drink to keep people from dropping drugs in it. Also, they will hold your hair, but that's not the intentional purpose. I'd honestly start looking into date rape prevention stuff for when you go out. Imagine if you were alone and no friends. What would have happened then? Would you be here now? You and your friends need to be on the lookout when going out and avoid that frat place. Always have a friend watch your drink. Never leave it unattended. Fuck, I always used to have my hand over the top of mine. They'll drop it in while you're holding it and not paying attention. People are evil. Don't let them have a one-up on you cause you're sloshed. Drink responsibly doesn't just mean don't drink and drive or drink too much. Keep your eyes open and your mind somewhat clear and yourself safe. As someone who has both been in the hospital with alcohol poisoning and put other people in the hospital with alcohol poisoning, learn from it and be better next time. I mean, if you ask my mom, I was talking Russian and puking all over the living room. Don't remember a thing. Kind of glad I can't recall getting my stomach pumped. Got up the next day and faced my friends. We had a laugh about it, and I learned my lesson. Damn. Welp, glad you're still around. That sounds intense. Your friends were the rock stars. Please cut back on shots. They are the fastest way to get too drunk very fast. Think of your liver and brain. Glad you are okay. And have friends who stayed with you. 1 water for every beer you drink next time. Alternate between water, beer, beer. Looks like you have good and caring friends. Make sure to drink water between drinking alcohol. Everyone was at least once in their life too drunk. Just make sure to drink water or anything non-alcoholic between the alcoholic drinks. This sounds like you were roofied. Not being able to move or talk. But use your brain like you describe. Screams tranquilizer. Source. Happened to me. If I was your friend, I would just be glad you're alive. I'd have zero anger towards you. Unless you decided to drink like this again in the future. Don't feel too embarrassed. If you want to make it better, just be more responsible next time. As other commentators here have mentioned, go to your doctor. I don't drink, but I have blood flow issues and I get these symptoms sometimes. It could be serious, like a disorder in the blood carrying oxygen, and could be what I have, where the blood pressure is just incredibly low, stopping certain organs from getting blood when I'm in certain positions. Either way, it's worth a visit to the doctor. I've also helped in a lot of cases of alcohol overconsumption as the sober friend, and I've never seen that happen. It sounds like you were drugged, which you should never feel embarrassed for. And listen, I'm 37 now, but I've been to the hospital a couple of times in my youth for being blackout puke drunk. So have a lot of people I know. It was not my best look or my best night, but I am grateful I had those resources. Better embarrassed than dead. No one here asking how this much alcohol made you damn near catatonic? Op, do you take any medication? Lots of medications interact with alcohol. Some surprises the central nervous system and cause the lung muscles to basically become unusable. It sounds like you were either spiked or mixed meds and alcohol. Unless you're around 100 pounds. That much alcohol should have only made you nauseated and maybe throw up. especially over 6 hours. I am not a heavy drinker at all. Maybe 2 beers on a weekend. But in my 20s that was a weekend party and I was around 130 pounds. I did this too when younger. We were playing drinking games. Boy, the nurses were not happy a young person with possible alcohol poisoning was under their care. I asked to use the restroom, and they didn't take the IV out or tell me where it is. I just had to pee. And before they put the IV in I was parched and not even life chips like they normally give. They poke me 10 times before getting the IV in. For future reference, the key is to start with liquor instead of beer, which you did. But when you switch to beer, you cannot go back to liquor. Also drink something other than alcohol in between each drink. Eat food before or during consuming alcohol but avoid greasy foods. Glad you were with caring friends.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.